My game week 31 team selection. What is up, everyone? How's it going? Hope you're keeping well, and welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel. Game week 30 has come to an end today, albeit it was a bit of a snooze fest with the Man City and Arsenal game. But with the quick turnaround to the game week 31 deadline, it's time to start planning ahead. We're not giving out about the quick turnaround, but it does mean no night out tonight now for me. It is a bank holiday here in Ireland, but I've got to get this video live, so if that doesn't deserve a like, I'm not sure what does. Head on down there, drop the video a like, and if you are watching this and you're not subscribed, please do hit that subscribe button below. We're trying to get the 6k subs before the end of the season, so if you are watching and you're not subscribed, I'd really appreciate it if you could hit subscribe and support the channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I fared out in Game Week 30. I'm going to also be looking at transfer plans and team selection ahead of Game Week 31. Let's get into the video. Looking back at the Game Week 30 review, I scored 67 points of the game week, which is a great start to the wildcard. ISAK was the hero of the wildcard after he picked up a massive 15-point return in the early kickoff against West Ham, picking up 2 goals and an assist, albeit 2 goals from the penalty spot, so maybe a small bit fortunate there, but he was a massive differential on the wildcard, and probably one of the reasons why I wanted the wildcard, to bring him in with Newcastle's great run of fixtures. Unfortunately, another new signing, our budget enabler Lascelles, came off with an ACL injury early on in that Newcastle-West Ham game. He's set to miss out now on the rest of the season because of this injury, so a small bit disappointing after I did bring him in on the wild card. To be fair, at least Newcastle did lose their clean sheet after West Ham scored 3, so I can't be too annoyed about that, but it just makes another transfer ahead of that bench boost in Game Week 37. I probably wouldn't have played Lascelles over the next couple of game weeks, but at least I do have cover on my bench for the next few game weeks. Moving on to the 3 PM games, we'll start off with that Chelsea double defence. What happened? Burnley went down to 10 men in the first half. I was licking my lips at the chance of getting those double defensive clean sheet points from Chelsea. It would have been massive, only for Burnley to score twice in the second half. A long distance goal from Cullen and a late Darragh O'Shea header, when probably Petrovic should have done a lot better. It was a small bit of a howler. At least Sanchez is set to be sidelined for the next couple of weeks, so Petrovic's place shouldn't be at risk. And then also looking at Gusto, he did come off injured in the 87th minute, which looks to be a slight hamstring injury. So I'm going to have to keep a close eye on Pochettino's press conference ahead of the deadline. To be fair, Chelsea have Man United in during the midweek, so I'm probably not going to play Petrovic or Gusto, but hopefully they'll be alright for the weekend against Everton. Cole Palmer was the hero of that game as he picked up 2 goals and all 3 bonus points for a 15-point haul. He's been an absolute joy to own all season, and with 2 double game weeks still to come for Chelsea, hopefully the points can keep rolling in. Heung-Min Son left it late for Spurs as he scored the winner turn. Spurs all 3 points, and himself all 3 bonus points as he came away with a 10-point haul. I won't lie, I was slightly disappointed to see that goal notification come in and see Son's name flash up on screen. To be fair, I knew it was coming as Son loved scoring in the last couple of minutes, but slightly disappointed on that. But I was probably fortunate for Son not to come away with more returns, as in the first half he rounded Kaminsky, somehow managed to hit both posts in the one shot. So yeah, captainers are probably rather unfortunate, but fortunate at the same time to get that late goal also. Unfortunately, Udogie lost his clean sheet in the first couple of minutes as Chong scored early on for Luton. West Ham away up now next for Spurs, so hopefully Udogie can come away with something, but away from home I can't see it, but we'll see how we get on the midweek games. Moving on to Sunday's games, I'd Mo Salah captain and Darwin Núñez up against Brighton at home, so I was really hoping Liverpool could put a few past Brighton. It was a frustrating watch as a Salah captainer as he missed chance after chance after chance, but then he finally got his goal laid on in that second half to come away with a 14-point return from the armband. On another day it should have been and could have been a lot more for Salah. He set himself a new record of having 12 shots in that Brighton game, so as I said, on a different day he could have came away with a mega haul. At least Liverpool did lose that clean sheet early on from a Danny Welbeck goal for Brighton, with Caoimhin Kelleher on my bench, and with Darwin Núñez up front he did come away with a blank, but he was probably unlucky not to score as Verbruggen kept him out on one occasion. Sheffield United at home up next now for Liverpool midweek, so fingers crossed Darwin Núñez and Mo Salah can get some good returns midweek. Finishing off the game week was Man City and Arsenal at the Etihad. I was really looking forward to this game. Lo and behold, we were entertained to an absolute snooze fest, a 0-0 draw at the Etihad. Erling Haaland wasn't himself once again. 13 touches all game. He was absolutely pocketed by Gabriel and Saliba. No shots on target, no shots off target, so he's not himself at the moment. Villa up next now for City midweek, so fingers crossed Haaland can get back amongst the returns. Bukayo Saka had a quiet game as well. 3 points after he picked up the extra point for the clean sheet, but it still was a blank. He came off late on in the game, which looked to be an injury, but Arteta confirmed after the game it was just fatigue. So Luton at home up next for Arsenal, so fingers crossed Saka can get amongst the returns once again. 67 points for game week 30 was a good score for the team. I was ranked at 132k overall before the game week. I've now moved up to 110k overall, so we're in a good position at the moment. Hopefully after game week 31 we can get inside the top 100k. Let me know in the comments below how you fared out in Game Week 30. Let me know your points total, if you took any hits, if you played your wild card. And yeah, that's how we fared out in Game Week 30. That's the review out of the way. Let's move on now and start planning ahead for Game Week 31. Looking at the clean sheet odds for the midweek games, Arsenal top the charts with a 56% chance of keeping a clean sheet at home to Luton. To be fair to Luton, you wouldn't be surprised to see them grab one at the Emirates during the week, but it's good viewing as a Gabriel owner in my team, so fingers crossed we do get that Arsenal clean sheet. Liverpool fall closely behind them in second place, just behind them with a 55% chance of keeping a clean sheet at home to Sheffield United. I've got Queven Kelleher in my team. I'll be looking forward to playing him in the midweek games, so fingers crossed for a Liverpool clean sheet also. Looking at the clean sheet odds in comparison to the rest of my defenders, it's okay viewing, not the worst, not the best. Wolves have a 27% chance of keeping a clean sheet away to Burnley. Of course, I did bring in Nori on my wildcard last week, so he's going to come into my starting 11 with a few other injuries in my defence. And then looking at Spurs, a 23% chance of keeping a clean sheet away to West Ham. So Udogie and Nori, to be fair to them, if they can't get their clean sheet, there's always a chance of an attacking return, with both of them being very attacking wing backs. So fingers crossed we can get something if they don't get their clean sheets. Looking at predicted points for the midweek games, there's no surprise to see Mo Salah top the charts with a predicted point score of 9.6 points, with Liverpool playing at home against Sheffield United. Erling Haaland follows closely behind him in second place with a predicted point score of 7.3 points at home to Aston Villa, and Heung-min Son and Cole Palmer both finished third with a predicted point score of 7.1 points with their respectable fixtures. Looking at the top 10, it's decent viewing with 5 of my players making the top 10. Queven Kelleher with a predicted point score of 6.5 points, so fingers crossed Liverpool can get that clean sheet during the midweek games. So looking at my Game Week 31 team selection, will start off in goals, and there's already a change in goals with Petrovic moving to my bench and Queven Kelleher coming into the starting 11. Petrovic is up against Man United on Thursday night, and Queven Kelleher is up against Sheffield United on the same night, so that's why the sub is made there. When I was playing my wildcard last week, this was a fixture I was focused on for Kelleher, as he rotated well with Petrovic, so that's why I went for him on my wildcard, so fingers crossed we can get that clean sheet from him on Thursday night. Moving on to the back three, Gabriel comes back into my starting 11 after I left him on my bench in Game Week 30 when he was away to City. To be fair, I didn't expect Arsenal to get that clean sheet, especially with City being at home. I thought City would have scored at least one in that game. So hopefully Arsenal can keep their clean sheet against Luton midweek. And with Luton being pretty dodgy defending from set pieces, there's always a chance Gabriel can get an attacking return with his aerial threat. Up next in defence is Nori away to Burnley. He's another new signing I brought in on my wildcard last week, just with those favourable fixtures for Wolves over the next couple of game weeks. He's got 1 goal and 1 assist over his last 4 games, so fingers crossed he'll be able to get something against Burnley on Tuesday night. He's only owned by 2.6% of managers in the game, so it'll be a nice differential haul if he does get something. He should have probably scored against Aston Villa at the weekend also after he missed a big chance, but he was hauled off after 63 minutes, but I'm told it was precautionary as he did play a lot of minutes for Algeria over the international break. Fingers crossed he can get something, as that would be a lovely return if he does. Udogie Dennis Spurs completes my back threes away to West Ham this week. I'm not expecting too much, especially West Ham after they scored 3 goals away to Newcastle at the weekend. But with Udogie, there's always a chance he can get an attacking return, but I'm not expecting too much from him during the midweek games. That's the defence out of the way. Let's move on now and have a look at the midfielders. Moving on to the midfield, it's a very template midfield with Mo Salah, Heung-min Son, Cole Palmer and Bukayo Saka all earning their spots in my starting 11. Starting off with Mo Salah, he's up against Sheffield United on Thursday night. He had a lot of missed chances against Brighton at the weekend, so hopefully he's his shooting boots on Thursday night. Well, not his shooting boots because he had those on at the weekend, but he didn't convert. Let's hope he has his scoring boots on Thursday night and he comes away with a nice return. Heung-min Son and Cole Palmer are the main men at the moment, both scoring very freely. Cole Palmer off the back of a 15-point haul and Heung-min Son off the back of a 10-pointer, so I'm not too worried about those. They should see some nice returns in Game Week 31. And then we've Bukayo Saka up against Luton at home. He did come off early against City, but as confirmed earlier on in the video, that was only just with fatigue, and I can't see why he won't start that Luton game. Should see some nice returns throughout that midfield this week, and fingers crossed we do. Let's move on now and have a look at the strikers. Alexander Isak, Erling Haaland and Darwin Núñez complete my starting 11. Starting off with Isak, he's just off the back of that 15-point return in Game Week 30. 4 goals and 1 assist in his last 3 games, so he's absolutely flying at the moment, and I can't see any reason why he can't continue this form into the Everton game during the week. Darwin Núñez then up next against Sheffield United on Thursday night. He was rather unfortunate not to have returned against Brighton at the weekend. Just hopefully he can get a few returns against Sheffield. Well, sorry, first off, hopefully he gets a start, as there are some people on Twitter speculating that he mightn't get the start with the Manchester derby at the weekend. But I think that's a load of rubbish. He came off early in the Brighton game, so I do think he'll get the start against Sheffield, and hopefully he can get a few returns. Erling Haaland completes my starting 11. He's just off the back of 2 blanks in his last 2 games, albeit the toughest fixtures he's going to face all season against Arsenal and Liverpool. Aston Villa at home in Game Week 31, so hopefully he can get some returns there. That's how I'm lining out for Game Week 31, 110k overall. Let's move on now and have a look at who will be captaining ahead of the Game Week 31 deadline.
Salah for the Armouth.
Yeah, with Mo Salah up against Sheffield United in Game Week 31, there's no surprise to see I've given him the armband. He's a standout captaincy pick, and I am expecting a good return from the Egyptian King on Thursday night. With this team on screen here, I'll be looking to save my transfer before the Game Week 31 deadline, so I'll be looking to have 2 free transfers before the weekend's games, before the Game Week 32 deadline. And I'm sure with a lot of rotation and potential injuries to happen during the midweek games, like there was a lot of injuries at Game Week 30, I'm sure I'm going to have to use my 2 free transfers before the Game Week 32 deadline. If you've made it to the end of this video, please give it a like, drop a comment below, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let's hit a like goal of 80 likes on this video. If you are still watching this video and you're not subscribed, please do hit that subscribe button below. 55% of my viewers aren't actually subscribed to the channel, so if you're one of them, head on down there, click subscribe and support the channel. As I said, I'm trying to get 6k subs before the end of the season, so I have a bit of work to do, but I would really appreciate it if you haven't done so already. Support the channel, head on down there, click subscribe, and help me on my way to hitting that milestone. That's how I'm shaping up for the week, so 110k overall. Hopefully we can get inside the top 100k after Game Week 31 in the lead up to Game Week 32. Best of luck for the week, thanks for watching, I'll see you in the next video.